Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. CPFSA head under the microscope following damning OCA report. Attorney calls for review of Jury Act. And later in sports, Arnett Gardens and Cavalier register victories in Monday night JPL action. I'm Shane Masters and thanks for joining us for the Midday News. An Office of the Children's Advocate report into inappropriate sexual exchanges between wards of the state and a charity executive director Karl Rabansky is expected to be tabled in Parliament today. The Ministry of Education and Youth terminated its relationship with him after it was revealed that Rabansky had been previously charged for professional misconduct in the United States. Rabansky had his education certificate suspended in Washington in 2016 after being found to have had sexual inappropriate exchanges with a minor. The Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA, which falls under the ministry, had leased property from the charity organization stemming from a 10-year relationship between both parties. In May 2014, on more than one occasion, Rabansky instant messaged a female middle school student after school hours and on weekends. According to a report prepared by the Superintendent of Public Instruction, the messages included some conversations with sexual innuendos. At least one attorney is this afternoon calling for the Jury Act to be reviewed. The comment follows a revelation by Director of Public Prosecutions Paula Llewellyn that juror shortage is at a 10-year low. More in this report from Kirk Wright.
Concern was raised on Monday that there could be an increase in the backlog of cases which are scheduled to be heard by a jury. Director of Public Prosecutions Paula Llewellyn on Monday, in painting a grim picture, said in one parish only 10 jurors were available to serve, while in another parish only 14. But Attorney at Law Bert Samuel says a review of who serves as a juror needs to be done.
We need to expand the jury list to include persons who are now excluded. There are many persons excluded under the Jury Act that a revision of that could say, yes, they should be let in because we should be using the TRN, the voters list. People have said use the TRN list because many people, because of the political apathy that is now in Jamaica, they do not want to be enumerated.
However, Director of Client Services, Communication and Information at the Court Administration Division, Kadisha Fletcher, says jurors are not only selected from the Electoral Office of Jamaica list.
I can confirm that jurors are selected from both the list of persons registered to vote, that's the EOJ list, and the list of persons who have TRNs, that's the TAJ list. Persons are randomly selected from both, further to the Jury Amendment Act of 2015.
In the meantime, Mr. Samuels further noted that poor treatment of jurors locally is also a major factor to the dwindling numbers.
When a judge is sitting with a jury, he calls them judges. He says, listen, you are the judges of the facts. You are the ones that are going to listen to this case. Sit well, they must be allowed to sit in comfort. They must be allowed to, when they come to court, they must be able to be park their vehicles. We don't treat the jurors good. We don't treat them well.
And as for remuneration,
people who are self-employed lose a lot of money to go to court for 3 weeks and leave their employment. So there is a financial sacrifice, but it is worth it. But at least give the people something to take the taxi and to have a decent lunch and add on for the time that they are giving.
Mr. Samuels was speaking on the morning agenda on Paul 106 Tuesday. Kirk Wright, TVJ News.
Investigations are ongoing into what caused the late-night fire at the railway market in downtown Kingston on Monday. As we hear in this report, the vendors say they are frustrated with what can be termed the railway market annual fires. Some vendors at the railway market in downtown Kingston are again counting their losses after fire gutted sections of the popular establishment last night. The vendors say the occurrence has become a yearly burden on their pockets.
We're tired of this now. Only for years we are going through this. And we can't manage it no more. When the place burned down, the stall costs a whole lot for bill. One whole heap of money or $30,000-$40,000 for your stall. You understand me?
What next? Where should I turn? Who should I turn to? How am I gonna get some assistance? Where it's gonna come from? I've just got to start back all over again. See my clothes? Only thing I can find is 2 pieces of zinc to make back the roof over my head.
It help your school fee. It buy books, lunch money, uniform. It do a lot of things. Food. It do a lot of things. It pay your light bill. It pay your bills them. Yeah. Big help.
This is a waste of time talking because we get burned out and not even a nail.
All right.
Or a zinc, them give we have to look at one a zinc, we have to look at one a board, we have to look at one a nail, and we have to look everything. Them now give $1 towards nothing. But every day, every Monday, Thursday and Saturday from those 3 days, them come collect money from we.
The vendors are now calling for the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, KSAMC, to provide some assistance.
We would like the fix here properly. And we have some farmer security who secure the place that this thing don't happen anymore.
Do you get the feeling that the KSAMC is willing to fix this properly for you?
No.
Fix it.
Why not though? But you pay market fees.
Yes, we pay market fee.
But it doesn't seem as if you people are forceful enough in getting them to fix it.
We don't have any control over it.
In 2019, Town Clerk, now CEO of the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, Robert Hill, said changes would be coming to the security arrangements of the Market District in downtown Kingston. He said that the area where the railway market is located is widely used, so security arrangements should always be in place. Now, the fires at the railway market have been frequent since 2017. Mixed reactions this afternoon from vendors to changes at the Morant Bay Market in St. Thomas. The market is being renovated and all vendors who are selling in the streets are being redirected back inside by the mayor. Codian Barrett reports.
Tuesday morning saw all vendors in Morant Bay being removed from the sidewalks. The market was cleaned and some improvements made to facilitate them as a measure to reduce congestion in the town. But some vendors were dissatisfied with the changes.
Let me tell you something. The market can't hold the people in. You can't put nothing your mother and your father and your brother and your sister in and put a little community wingy market in there. So how the people are going to sell? You can't even find a way to walk in there already. You have to take the road make market then. Stretch it look more and bigger, the people can't go into the market go sell then. So make the road as a market and make them sell on the roadside. Because the people cannot sell inside the market if they're not going to make no money for PO no.
Where them going to put the close people them where they on the road? Are these people about 4 side of people? Where them going to put them? The market is not big enough. Them have to go do something else for us.
While a few felt the move was long overdue.
I like what the mayor is doing, and this should have been done a long time ago, but better late than never. And when everybody come off this street, we'll have less congestion, like what is happening.
But despite the concerns raised by vendors, the mayor, Hubert Williams, says the rules will not be bent.
It will be a zero tolerance in terms of vendors on the street. We want our sidewalks for our residents to walk on. People that is, using the town to transact their business, they must be able to use the sidewalk so that they don't walk in the roads. Because our roads are very small. Remember, Morant Bay is a very old town. So our roads are very small. So we can't have our residents walking in the road. We want them to walk on the sidewalk. The sidewalk was built for pedestrian traffic, and that's what it's going to use for.
During a tour of the facility on Monday, Mr. Williams noted areas for improvement and said work on the market will be ongoing. Codian Barrett, TVJ News.
And it's time for a break here on the Midday News, but please stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. One hotelier is calling for more stakeholders and citizens to support police officers in Westmoreland. Richard Wallace says the bloodletting needs to stop, but more resources are needed. Shamala Pullen reports.
Since the start of the year, Westmoreland recorded at least 3 murders. This puts the parish in the top 3 with highest murder figures for 2023 so far. Hotelier Richard Wallace says this is not a good start for the new year. And with Negril, a major tourism resort area in the parish, the impact can even be greater. Mr. Wallace says the police are working and are doing all they can to stop the bloodletting, but they cannot do it alone. He says they are challenged in their crime-fighting efforts with the limited resources they have.
We've reached out to TPDCO and to TEF to see how they can assist. We had some ATVs on the beach that were patrolling the beach. As you know, the beach is 7 miles long, so it's hard to patrol by foot. So I know that TPDCO through TEF is purchasing some more ATVs for the beach because the ones we had, got old and worn out. So we're trying to get some new ones.
Mr. Wallace says the lawmen also need more vehicles on the road so they can move around easily when there is an incident. He says the Tourism Product Development Company is also working to see how they can assist in this area.
There was a car that was in an accident, a police car, and it was sitting at the station for many months. And we assessed it and realized it was fairly minor repairs that it needed to get back on the road. So through TPDCO, we made arrangements with a local, repair shop, and we got the vehicle up and running. So thankfully that they have another vehicle now in Negril that they're using.
But Mr. Wallace says more support is needed, especially from stakeholders and the citizens.
I know they're making some headway in crime. I know the SOE also helps, but what we need to realize as a country is that everybody has to work together to reduce crime. We can't just sit back and leave it up to the police and blame the government and say, oh, they must fix it. We all need to fix it. We're all Jamaica, it's our country. So I just hope that this year more people get on board where that is concerned.
Shamela Pullen, TVJ News.
For a look at the economy, here's Cody and Barrett with the Business Minute.
Less water was consumed in the third quarter of the year. According to the Statistical Institute of Jamaica's Statin, 4.65 billion gallons were produced versus 4.69 billion gallons for the corresponding period in 2021. That's a 0.8% reduction year over year. Statin says the fall was largely due to reduced consumption of water by residential customers. In business overseas, Amazon has said it plans to shut 3 warehouses in the UK, putting 1,200 jobs at risk. However, the company also said it planned to open 2 new centers, creating 2,500 jobs over the next 3 years. The firm said staff at the sites being closed would be offered the chance to move to other Amazon locations. Last week, Amazon said it planned to cut more than 18,000 jobs globally, the largest number in the firm's history, in an attempt to reduce cost. That's it for the Business Minute. I'm Cody Ann Barrett.
And now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, Barbados health authorities are reporting an outbreak of the COVID-19 virus at the geriatric hospital. Officials say visits to the institution on the outskirts of the capital have been restricted on some wards due to the outbreak. The country has recorded 569 deaths and over 106,000 infections since the first case was recorded in March 2020. On the international scene, Uganda is set to announce the end of the Ebola outbreak that emerged last year and has claimed the lives of at least 56 people. Officials say if new cases are not reported by Tuesday, the health ministry would formally announce the end of the outbreak on Wednesday. According to the World Health Organization, an outbreak of the disease ends when there are no new cases for 42 consecutive days, which is twice the incubation period of Ebola. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Cody Ann Barrett.
We head to a quick break. When we come back, Jordan Fort will have your midday sports report.